Hey, what's up guys, it's Frankie, and I'm back with another Black Zone interview with one of the most famous PvP player in the game, Stabber. Stabber is currently sitting at number 21 best PvP fame in the whole game. I don't know if you guys realize what this is, but the simple fact that somebody that exclusively does small-scale PvP is sitting among the top 20 with all the, the GVG and big ZVZ players is a feat in itself. Stabber is also a fairly successful Twitch streamer on Albion, and if you haven't seen any of his content, this is the kind of stuff he does.
Yeah, waiting out fucking side, dude. Waiting outside. Feels good.
I got locked out.
What are you doing? I feel good. Any more? Just the loot, boys, or for them.
The video today is a bit longer than usual, so feel free to jump on any of these timestamps. However, if you have 20 minutes to kill, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So you know what? Let's get the interview started. With all this action we forgot about. So, Stabber, tell us a little bit about yourself for the few people play, like maybe the new players that don't really know you or haven't seen your streams. What's yeah, your story? Basically, your story with Albion.
Yeah, I started. I don't know. I saw it way back, 2017. I think was it 2017 or 2014? I don't know. When the game was like first kind of out, coming through the alphas and stuff, and then I went through to the first beta. I believe is when I kind of initially hit up and started playing. The game's obviously changed a lot since then. A lot of people are quite salty about that. The dagger pair was my kind of weapon of choice. Daggers initially, and then obviously moving into dagger pair when kind of everything was worked out with that. It was a very different weapon before, and the game was very different before. It used to be that you could one-shot someone off their mount, and it was a very strong weapon in 1v1. And
one shot up
yeah, because people would take damage through the mount, so damage would carry over, right?
Okay.
Let's keep moving because there's a lot of these guys. So yeah, like it was all the damage was instant. It wasn't tied to bleed damage and everything like it was now. It was just an instant nuke once you cast it. It just it burst them down.
Okay.
But that's the thing, obviously people don't like getting one shot, right? So
yeah,
it kind of suffered heavy nerfs, and then it received a bit of a buff. I was playing the weapon again, because I came back to the game. I was playing it through the various betas and stuff, and I was working at sea at the time, so I was actually out of the country a lot. And I came back, picked it up after release, to jump on. I was looking forward to playing. And then I was pretty sad because of the changes they've made to like leather armor over the time. Like even leather armor itself, it used to have passive bonuses for mobility increase on it.
Okay.
There's lots of fun stuff, not anymore that's changed. Ambush, for example, wasn't tied down to a specific location. You could just ambush and run as far as you wanted to.
And ambush had a 30-second cooldown.
There's a lot of changes. Meditate, for example, it used to be an instant reset for all your abilities. There's a lot of changes, kind of thing, that it went through, and a lot of heavy nerfs. So when I picked it back up, kind of I had that whole thing of people basically telling me, don't do it. It's pointless. The weapon's crap. All this stuff. And then I just kept playing it, and I found a build that worked for me and that I enjoyed. And then I just kind of, I guess, that's where I got my initial kind of notoriety from. Was playing the dagger.
Yeah, you're talking about the Death Givers build, or like
the dagger pair. The dagger pair. Before Death Givers were even introduced into the game. Yeah, this is long before the Death Givers were even added. But so that was where my initial notoriety came from. It was making the dagger pair kind of viable and making it work and stuff. And then various buffs were added to the weapon, and it was picked up again, and obviously it became quite strong, and then death givers were added, and it's obviously, and then over the current kind of patches and stuff, the dagger pair I just feel has been relatively nerfed down, but death givers are really strong right now, so they've been a fun weapon to take out, you know, heavy invis, a lot of utility, and then that's kind of the other thing that's gained me a lot of kind of notoriety with it as a strong solo player in the open world. Was, I mean, there's some clips I had of waging war on somebody's territory on my own and killing every one of them that was coming out of it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, you know. I enjoy the weapons and stuff, and I enjoy solo play. I mean, I think the game's a little bit rough for solo play right now, you know, but it's
when you're good at
it,
it's really rewarding.
Yeah. It is, and that's the thing. That's why, for me, I was never really as interested. Let's double back around. I was never really as interested in big group content in Albion, because for me, it's like I like the intensity of solo and small scale and of being outnumbered. You know, the kind of I don't know how to describe it. You know, the feeling you get from that content is a lot more real, and it's a lot more enjoyable to me.
I get it. I had the exact same talk with Namasi, where he was saying basically, okay, sometimes I went with the guys to gank, but it doesn't feel the same. Like it just feels
But there's things like I'm not putting anything against gankers and stuff. You know, I'm not really a ganker. This is what people get confused about sometimes. Like I'll come out on this build because I'm looking for fights. You know, I want to fight like 2 people, 3 people, you know, 4 people. I want to push and see how much I can do, and that's the only way to really get better at the game, is to put yourself in a situation where you probably shouldn't win and then trying to win anyway, you know. But then obviously a lot of people, they want the safe fights, they want to take more numbers and stuff to make sure they get the kills and they get the game, and that's also absolutely fine. I mean, at the end of the day, if people want to make money doing that, that's fine. I'm not around to make money, I'm here just to have fun, right? This is a game ultimately to me, so
yeah, makes sense.
oh, some people here.
So looking a little bit more into your build, the Death Givers. When was it released, the weapon?
I can't remember the date it was released, to be honest. It was when obviously they did the main patch of when they added all the relic weapons and stuff into the game. That was sort of fresh.
Was it close to release or?
No. The Death Givers were added quite late. The Death Givers and the artifact weapons in general are one of the more recent updates to the game.
Okay.
It's quite a long time since the release of the initial game, and then even, you know, going through to the Steam and release and all that stuff was around that time that they were put into the game. Yeah, I mean, and this is like when the Death Givers were initially released, they were, you know, to be running on a pair of tier 6 right now, like this would have cost me millions of silver just to wear the tier 6 Death Givers. Now after the update where they have the open world, you know, the random dungeons and stuff like that and everything else, and obviously the artifacts and the runes and everything are just so plentiful that the artifacts themselves are so cheap now. It's easy for me to buy the artifacts for these and just craft up myself an entire box full of them, and then I don't have to worry about losing them. And obviously, it being such a strong solo set, it's really easy to make that money back. Even if I die, I know I'm going back onto the set. It's kind of cheap and it's easy to maintain and stuff now, but it's heavily focused around invisibility, you know, which is, I've always played like assassin types in games, so for me, that, you know, in Albion, it's one of the biggest advantages of it for me, is that you can really play like these assassin type classes. You know, tanks feel tanky, healers are important and needed, you know, like you feel like you're playing the class that you want to play. So to make a build like this was a really fun thing to me. You know, the shoes giving me invisibility and a damage boost, which is again important for the Death Givers. The helmet giving me a damage boost and also a reduction in resistances, which is also, you know, quite a thief-like thing. The chest giving me a damage boost and also invis, and then the E's giving me invis every 6 seconds, basically, because I'm not going to use it twice. But yeah, and it's crazy, you know, just to have that constant invis, and that's the main defense of the build. So it just means you have to kite around quite a lot. You know, you don't want to be caught out. Tick damage will break the Death Giver E invis, so you want to try and avoid tick damage where you can. But yeah, it's all about just being constantly invisible. I think it's one of the things for me is I was always sad that I've never really had a chance in some of these big fights that I've had where I've killed, like, you know, 5 people, 7 people on my own. You know, with this build, I just wish I would, you know, someone had handed me a recording and be like, oh, by the way, this is it from our perspective, you know. To see someone just invisible and then suddenly one guy's dead and then they just see a glimpse of somebody, you know, and then another guy's dead. Like, I think that'd be really enjoyable to see from the opposite perspective. Let's go to the walk camp.
I mean, I've seen a couple on Twitch already on your streams, and yeah. I would almost dare to say the build is a bit OP. I mean, it feels like whenever I play against it as a warball, well, I always die to it, and it's like
I mean, I think that's one of the things you have to think in terms of risk reward. Though I mean, it's obviously something I've heard a lot. Is that well, it's just OP and all this sort of stuff, and it's like, well, when you think that I'm running an artifact cowl, I'm running soul shoes, and then I'm running relic weapons, and you're running a longbow, something that's made out of just wood.
warbow, but
It's and that's it, right? It's like it's obviously if you're coming up against a relic weapon in a 1v1 fight, especially the only relic weapons that's specifically designed for 1v1 fights.
Yes.
Like you should be like, oh shit, like I'm probably not gonna be able to beat this. Like it should take a lot of it should take a very high level of play to beat it without having like such good equipment on as well, and that's the risk reward thing in Albion, right?
I see. For like.
There we go.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna stay away as much as I can. I think they're gonna try to jump on me, but I should be fine now. I don't have vision. Oh, but I'm good. Okay, I'm good. You can kill one of them.
Yep.
Oh, I don't see where I'm...
Okay, that was actually a really good pace on that guy. I've ambushed.
Okay.
Can I use my Hellion shoes on you here? Frost shot back when I call.
Yeah.
Okay, frost shot away, frost shot away. Good shit.
Alright.
I haven't even used my health pot yet, so this is fine.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, you see that dodge, that spare? Oof, dude.
Nice. I'm keeping my my escapes, like my runs and everything. I don't wanna commit too much.
One dead.
Okay. We're good.
Yeah, just keep poking, because they're going to try and loot here. That's all these guys are focused on right now.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Okay, this guy's in combat with me now, which is fantastic. Okay, tanks are in combat with this.
Oh, this is funny.
That's it, you see, just a little bit of gear changing in terms of skills, and then it's no issue.
This is hilarious. Oh my god, 2v5 or I don't know how much it is.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was it. Pretty much 2v5. I've just never done this in my life on Albion. That was fun, to say the least. Things.
That's it.
Basically, things Stabber does.
I said, that's what it comes down to, It's like if you don't take those fights, you're never gonna be able to take them,
Yeah.
Just keep doing it, find out what changes you need to make, what alterations you need to do, and then you get more and more confident just making them on the fly. The amount of times that I'm in the middle of a fight or just before I'm about to take one, and I change 3 or 4 skills over, or food or whatever, and obviously it's something you begin to get very comfortable with just doing, instantly when you recognize the situation you're in. So yeah, just don't worry about dying, take the fights and try your best.
Yeah. So with all this, I got distracted away from my from the questions that I had. I mean, who cares about the questions? I guess I still had one question. That was, what's the build that gives you the most trouble? On a let's say
Yeah. You asked about this. So this is the thing with the Death Givers, right? And this build in general. Any build has the potential to give me trouble. Stackable melee builds often I won't have too much trouble with because I'm not going to let them stack. the biggest weakness to the Death Givers is the fact that this build, or this, not the Death Givers, but this build in general, is that obviously it relies heavily off the invisibility provided by the Death Giver E. If I have 3 stacks of Assassin's Spirit, then I won't get it put on cooldown, which means I'm able to use it every 6 seconds. And every 6 seconds, I'm going to have 3 seconds of invisibility and 50% reduced energy costs. You know, it's crazy. But any tick damage will reveal me from that. Any tick damage whatsoever. So curse stuffs, I have to be very careful in how I fight them. Ideally, if I'm fighting a curse stuff, I will not even let them get 1 tick of vile curse on me, because that's going to make it a lot harder to then kite them out. So I have to play my spacing like incredibly well against the curse stuffs to make sure that they can basically just keep me revealed with that vile curse stacking. Even a Great Axe can prove some trouble, right? Because again, they have that bleed ticks on the Qs. They have a lot of mobility from like the Adrenaline Rush and the E combo, although a lot of people seem to be using the new ability. Adrenaline Rush is incredibly strong. It's a 50% move speed increase. It's nuts. So like, that can be difficult because obviously it's harder to kite them out, and also they have the ability to reveal me. In a group like that, a lot of gank groups these days are running things like a Heavy Mace or Morning Star. That can be incredibly dangerous, and actually I've been thinking about this recently and talking about it recently, where I might even start carrying a mercenary hood in my pocket specifically for stuff like that. So okay, like this group, the Stalker hood gives me such good execute potential, obviously the utility of revealing people from invis, but the mercenary hood's going to keep me alive. So that's the more important thing, is keeping myself alive. And it's on it's a 20-second cooldown from base, so I can get that to like 16 seconds. So it's so sometimes
Careful,
like,
there's some...
let's move up. We can go on.
You wanna
space back in here, drop off some stuff. Yeah, no, it's just that's the main thing really. It's tick damage is a counter to Death Givers, and everyone has the like mage cowls even. If someone uses a mage cowl correctly against the Death Givers, they can find the space to attack me.
Fighting this?
I try to.
I'm gonna get cornered here, but yeah, let's go. Let's go! Oh, you went a bit far. But he's dismounted. Alright. Try to stack up the Q.
Yep.
Should be good. Yep.
Doing what you're doing. Nice, not back. You're gonna have to kite heavy here, dude. Did you kill one?
I know, but I can kite some more. I'm just running. Oh, I got okay. He's running back to you. Yeah, he's running back to you. I'm basically just... Ew. I'm not dead, so I'm happy. So you got 2? Are you still busy? Okay, he's still busy. He's dead. Awesome. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna get this guy though.
So that's about it for today's video, guys. And if there's one takeaway from this interview, it's this one. Just take the damn fights. Experiment with your builds, find your favorite, stick to it, practice, and take the damn fights. It's the only way to find out if you can make it alone in the black zones. So I hope you enjoyed the video like I did. Hit that like, subscribe button, follow me on Twitter, yada yada yada, you know the drill. And until next time, see ya!